Hi, I'm Lonna Kelly, and this is Hudson Valley Art Speak. Thank you for watching today. We're going to be talking to Marian Grudko today, and Marian, like so many of the people that I know who are creative, does a lot of different things. She's a musician, an editor, a performer, and now an author. Marian recently published a book called Lucinda Snowdrop. Thank you for coming today, Marian.
Nice to be with you, Lonna.
Yeah, it's good to see you again. Tell me a little bit about Lucinda Snowdrop. Oh, wait a minute, I'm going to interrupt you for just a minute. The music that people hear in the background is music that Marian wrote for to go along with the book. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, you are saying it right. It's actually a ballet score which does illustrate the book with music. It illustrated the story before the story became a book.
Okay, and what do you mean by that? Did you perform?
Yeah, I performed it as a concert piece for many years. And actually the book got created out of popular demand. Mainly the kids who attended the performances would come up to me afterwards and say, are you going to make a book out of this? And I would say, okay. And they would say, yes, well, be very sure to include the music and how you say it, because we need to know how it goes.
Yeah.
So that was very instructive. So that's exactly what I did. So with the book, there's a link that you can download, and you would get the music and a performance by me, which was a live performance done in Pauling at the Aiken Hall.
That's pretty wonderful, because as the parent of two kids who are dyslexic, you know, they struggled with learning how to read. So I mean, that seems to me that could open up a different avenue for them to help, you know, a child learn how to read.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Thank you. I think the next book I do will probably be an interactive ebook, where when you push the page, you'll hear my voice and the music, so the words and the sound will be simultaneous.
That sounds great.
It does.
That sounds
Thank
great.
You. You heard it here first.
So, Marian, tell me what happens in this book. Tell me a little bit about the story, so that people will be able to get an idea before they rush out to buy it tomorrow.
Okay. It's about a little toy bunny who once did a very brave thing. And I wrote this story for my grandma. I had an idea to write a story that I would also turn into a ballet. I had written several ballet scores to Beatrix Potter stories, and I wanted to write something of my own. And then my grandmother got sick. And you know how it is when somebody who you love gets sick. Mm-hmm. You just want to do something. Sometimes you do what you can, but you just don't know. And I turn into creativity sometimes and try to create something that would help. So I made up a story, and I actually talked to her about it. There are some parts of this book that she inspired, literally inspired. But we were trying to get Lucinda Snowdrop from one place to another, and it was her idea for two sparrows to pick her up inside one of their nests and carry her over the forest. I thought, that's pretty good, Grandma. I'm going to put that in the book. So we talked about it and talked about it, and one night when she was really ill, I don't know if you believe this, but I invoked the spirit of Lucinda Snowdrop, and my grandma went to the hospital, and we tied ribbons on her, and the nurses said nothing would permit them to take the ribbons off. She won't let them take them off. They wash her with the ribbons on. And we talked and talked about the story, and she did get better. And I don't know if that's why she got better, but I like to think it helped. And we had 3 more really beautiful years together. So but as far as what the story is about, it's about a bunny who actually takes it upon herself to try and get Grandma better.
Right, right, and through dance and music.
Yes, well, yeah. When I first started thinking about the story, I knew that I would want to see it as a dance eventually, because that's how I think.
Yeah.
So I had to have Lucinda dance somewhere. So because of what happened to my grandmother, I had her dance in the grandmother's garden.
Right. Right. Are you a dancer?
No, I would have liked to be. When I was a teenager, I studied dance, and I put my pennies together, and I lived in Brooklyn at the time and took the subway up to Manhattan and saw every ballet I could afford. But no, I don't. I'm pretty sedentary now.
Yeah. And would you like to choreograph it, or would you like somebody else to do it? You know, to take it from a book into a real actual ballet where dancers are performing it?
That's a really great question. I could see it. I don't know if I could convey it.
Yeah.
I would like to be in on it. I think I would want a choreographer to do this, and perhaps with some input from me, because they come up with things I would never think of.
Right, right, yeah. And well, they also would know what the human body can do.
Oh, that wouldn't bother me.
No.
I would just ask them, how about that?
Yeah,
yeah. How fly? You just fly. Can't you fly? No?
Yeah, no. Well, you can if you have the right wires on.
The wires.
Yeah. How long does it take to bring a book to fruition? I guess it takes everybody a different amount of time. How long did it take you from when you decided to make it into a book to getting it published?
About a year.
A year?
Yeah, I worked with the illustrator, Magdalene Carson. So sweet. Oh my goodness, what a nice person and extremely talented. And we had to sort of get to know each other a little bit before the magic started.
Right.
You know, she read the story, and some fits and starts, and then all of a sudden it just clicked, and she was doing things I didn't ask for, and then it was great. But it did take about a year.
Really? Yeah, yeah. And where can you find the book?
It is currently available pretty much anywhere books are sold. You can get it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and other online stores, but it will be at the Merritt Bookstore in Millbrook, and it is currently on display at the Book Cove in Pauling.
Yeah, they give you a big window there.
Yeah, I know. A friend called me and he said, "Did you see the Book Cove window?" And I said, "No, I haven't been to town." He said, "It's full of Lucindas." And I thought, "Oh, really?" So there were like 8 Lucinda Snowdrop books plastered all over the place. And that made me happy. And Tara, who manages the place, said she likes having it there because it looks like spring.
That's true, and we have not had spring yet, in spite of the fact that it's April.
I know, and it was snowing, and there were snowbanks all over the place, and she put that in the window, and everybody liked it.
Yeah, I'm sure it was soothing to a lot of people.
I know.
So, and then also, if people go into the bookstore and the book isn't there physically, they can ask the bookstore owner to order it, yes?
Yes, you can literally call any bookstore in the world and they can order it for you.
Yeah, yeah. And you are going to be at the Millbrook Literary Festival?
I am. I'm very excited about that. I'm honored to be presenting there. I'm going to be performing the musical story, Lucinda Snowdrop, in the children's room in the beautiful Millbrook Library, which is huge, multi-level, and has a gorgeous children's room. So
yeah, that is a really nice library.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And that'll be at 12:30.
Yeah, yeah. And that's May 19th?
That's May 19th Yes, in Millbrook.
Yeah. And so what else do you have going on right now? Are you working on new books? Do you have anything else in the works?
I have three books. They're all written. I'm just going to be concentrating on Lucinda Snowdrop for at least a couple of months.
Yeah.
And then make books out of the rest of them. One was co-authored with T.A. Young, who we talked about last time I was here.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we wrote a book called Claudine together about a ladybug. But it's funny, people say, oh, what is this? Is it a children's book or what? The language is a little more demanding. And I say, not really, we just wrote it.
Yeah.
You know, I like it. And it's not really a children's book, but I don't know, I just write it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what else do you have in mind?
I have 2 other musical stories that I wrote, which is to say that there's the text and then there's music to go with it, so they're concert pieces similar to Lucinda. One is called Dragonfly Bog, which is about an endangered wetland and the creatures that live there, and their home is threatened, particularly Dickinson bog turtle, who is the namesake of Emily. He's very much similar to her in that he's a reclusive sort, secretive, and bog turtles really are like that.
Yeah.
And it's his story, but it's even more so the story of his friend and the real heroine of the story. Speaking about books as role models for young girls, is a dragonfly named Sura. And she knows his problem, you know, he doesn't want to leave.
Yeah.
But she wants to get him out. And for a while it looks like they can't do it, but yeah, that's the story.
So what comes first, the music or the text?
That's another really good question. I love literature. I love to think of stories. I think that text, you know, the text comes first as a whole.
Yeah.
I'll get snippets of music in my mind, just however it happens. But once the text is fully formed, then the music comes out really fast.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know how it works. It just does.
It just comes.
It does. I either wash dishes or take a shower or just sit down at the piano. And this sounds probably like an exaggeration or a tall tale, but I just put my fingers down and I think of the story and I start singing, and something comes.
And it comes.
It's nice.
And so we're going to have to leave everybody with that.
Okay.
Thanks so much for coming today. It was good to talk to you, Marian.
It's good to talk to you too.